Next, this is cross-pollination, which is also called allogamy. In cross-pollination, what happens? The pollen grains from the anther is shifted by an agent to the stigma of another flower. Now, this flower can be in the same plant, can be in a separate plant in the garden. Okay, so please get this correct. In cross-pollination, when the pollen is shifted to the stigma of another flower, the flower can be in the same plant, same hibiscus plant, or can be in another hibiscus plant of in the garden. Basically, you need two flowers for cross-pollination, right? Examples of are hibiscus, brinjal, tomato. If you see, all these flowers are very bright in color. Hibiscus comes in almost 15 to 20 different bright, attractive colors. Brinjal flowers are something like this, very colorful. Tomato flowers are bright yellow in color, small but bright yellow in color to attract pollinators. Or is very dull and small and not so beautiful looking, an ugly looking flower. Will anybody get attracted to the flower? No.
No.
Only when a flower is bright and big petals, beautiful design of petals, it has a nice aroma. Not only human beings but also insects will go and try and take nectar from there, smell the flower, sit on the petals. So it is basically using those color to attract the agents. Who are the agents? The insect, bird, human being. These kind of, so it needs to be large and colorful to attract pollinators. Okay. So what are the advantages of cross-pollination? So basically the offsprings are healthier. Correct? This why are the offsprings healthier? What do they mean by offsprings? Offsprings means the the fruit that is produced after the fertilization process, the fruit, the seeds that are produced by cross pollination, that they are naming as the offspring. Why is the offspring healthier? Because it always happens so that the best of both the flowers are taken. Best of both the flowers are taken while fertilization. Right? Okay. In this case, who is the child in case of flowers? It is either the fruit or the seeds. When two flowers are pollinating, fertilizing zygote, remember the zygote was a baby. The zygote was happening, the embryo zygote was happening, and then from there a new fruit, the ovary turned into a fruit, and the ovule turned into a seed. So these are the offsprings. This is what they mean, that the offspring will be much healthier. Because these two flowers are two different flowers of two different plants, or maybe the same plant, but the best of both the flowers are being taken during fertilization. Correct? Now the seeds produced are abundant and grow well. That's what I'm saying. The seeds are very healthy. They will be healthy seeds. New varieties may be produced. How new varieties might be produced? The same example that I was saying of a black rose or the orange hibiscus. Right? Black rose. How was black rose formed? This is a new variety. Black rose, I'm just giving you an example. This might be not correct, but I'm just sharing. Maybe black rose was formed by a maroon color rose which was combined with a blue rose. Maroon and blue mixed together to form a black rose. Or maybe even an orange hibiscus. An orange hibiscus formed when cross-pollination was done by a yellow and a red rose. Correct? So this is how new varieties can be formed, and these varieties are normally known as hybrid. Hybrid flowers, hybrid fruits. Right? We have all kinds of hybrids nowadays. Okay. Now, I'm sure all of you must be having grapes. Nowadays, do you when you have grapes, do you get seeds in it? Or do you have seedless grapes? Pragya? Okay, see, basically, what happened is that they took healthy grapes. This has all been done in the lab. They took healthy grapes, plus they took some seedless grapes, which was very rare, right? And then they combined, they pollinated, they fertilized, the zygote formed, and then they got healthy seedless grapes. How is a black rose formed? Black rose is formed when a maroon rose is combined with a blue rose. That is how a black rose is formed. How is an orange hibiscus formed? Maybe they must have combined a red flower with a yellow flower, and that is how they got an orange flower. In case of seedless grapes, which I was discussing with Neha, how did they get seedless grapes? Seedless grapes were formed by healthy grapes. Sorry, this they got healthy seedless grapes. They must have cross-pollinated healthy grapes, seedless grapes, and that is how they got healthy seedless grapes. So what had happened is that these seedless grapes were unhealthy. They were very small in size. They were most of the time rotten. They were not good to eat. They were very sour. They were very sour. They were not sweet. Now they
Okay.
have got healthy, sweet seedless grapes. This is what they mean when they say these are new varieties. New variety. New varieties are also called hybrid. In case of a disadvantage will be, for example, if this flower was a little unhealthy, like insects were eating off the petals and the flower was very small in size, a little droopy, right? What will happen? The anther of this flower will sit on the stigma of this flower, and the offspring, the new fruit, the new seeds that will be formed, that will also be a little unhealthy. That will also be small in size, will be prone to eaten by insects, fungal infection and all. And then the seeds say, Naya plant, whatever will come out, that also will be a little unhealthy. So if one flower is bad, everything related to that will be bad. But in case of cross-pollination, even if one flower is bad and this flower is healthy, the chances are of the offspring being a healthy one. 50-50 chance. But in this self-pollination, 100% chance that the offspring will be unhealthy. Okay, for cross-pollination, the offsprings are healthier. As I was saying, what are these offsprings? The offsprings are basically the fruits and the seeds. Offspring means children, child. Like for example, there is a father, there is a mother, their offspring is their child. Similarly, the offspring of the flower will be the flower, fruits, seeds, and that seed if sown a new plant, those are all the offspring. So cross-pollination may, the offsprings are always healthy, right? And the seeds which are produced are always good, healthy, abundant, matlab a lot, larger numbers, wastage is less of seeds, formation is good, right? And new variety may be produced. This is what I was explaining. How new varieties of black rose. Black rose was never found on earth. It was a scientist, the botanist, who actually found out black rose in the lab. Artificially, they pollinated a maroon rose with a blue rose. And artificially, inside a test tube, they did the fertilization from there. The zygote was formed. And then one fine day, a seed was formed. Then they sowed the seed into the soil. After a few months, the plant came and then they found that it was a black rose. So it's a long drawn process. And it's not necessary that every time they'll be successful. Many a times, because they are not species, the success rate is less.